Namaste, Dandavat Pranam. By the instruction and grace of our spiritual master on Vishnupad Paramahamsa Shripad Bhakti Madhavapuri Maharaj, we are here reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We're also paying our humble Dandavat Pranam to Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada for providing us this wonderful commentary and translation of Bhagavatam. And following the guidance of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, we are praying to Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī. Yadi sevā-vañcitāḥ syāma, yasyāḥ kṛpayā vayaṃ labhema, sarvaṃ prāpnumaḥ prayojanaṃ, dhāmni śrī-bhagavat pade, Kṛṣṇa-sambandhi sarvaṃ Yadi jānīmahe tutam, Aṣṭādaśasu sahasreṣu ślokānāṃ bhāgavat-oktiṣu. If we are cheated out of serving that personality whose mercy awards us everything we need, including residence in the Lord's holy Dham and all things connected to Krishna, and if we cannot understand or discover Rādhārānīṃ within the 18,000 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, then our study of Srimad Bhagavatam has been pointless. Without the mercy of Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī, all of our efforts are in vain. So we are continuing today's reading from the last chapter of Canto 5. This chapter is about descriptions of hellish planets, hellish plans of consciousness in this Bhagavat cosmology. Tatra haike narakan eka vimshatim ganayanti atatam ste rajan namarupa lakshanato nukram ishyamas tamishrondat tamishro roravo maharorava kumbhipaka kalashutram asi patravanam shukaram mukam andhakupa krimi bhojana sandhamshas tapta surmir vajrakantaka samali vaitarani puyodha pranarodho vishasanam lalabaksha sarameyadanam avichir ayapanam iti kincha Sharo kardamo rakshogana bhojana sulaproto dandashuko vata nirodana paryavartana suchimukam ityasta vimshatir naraka vividha yatana bhumaya. Some authorities say that there is a total of 21 hellish planets, and some say 28. My dear king, I shall outline all of them according to their names, forms, and symptoms. The names of the different hells are as follows: Tamisra, Andhatamisra, Rurava, Maharurava, Kumbhipaka, Kalasutra, Asti Patravana, Sukaramukha, Andhakupa, Krimbibhojana, Sandhamsa, Taptasurmi, Vajrakantaka, Salmali, Vaitarani, Puyodha, Pranarodha, Vishasana, Lalabhaksha, Sarameyadana, Avichi, Ayapana, Charakardama, Rakshogana Bhojana, Sulaprota, Dandashuka, Avata, Nirodhana, Parivartana, and Suchimukha. All these planets are meant for punishing the living entities. Text 8. Tatrayastu paravitapatya kala tranyapaharati sahi kala pasabadho yama purushar ati bayanakais tamishre narake balanipatyate anashananudapana dandhatadana santarjanadibir yatanabir yatyamano jantur yatra kasmalam asadita ikadaiva morcham upayati tamisra praye. My dear king, a person who appropriates another's legitimate wife, children, or money is arrested at the time of death by the fierce Yamadutas, who bind him with the rope of time and forcibly throw him into the hellish planet known as Tamisra. On this very planet, the sinful man is chastised by the Yamadutas, who beat and rebuke him. He is starved and he is given no water to drink. Thus the wrathful assistants of Yamaraj cause him severe suffering, and sometimes he faints from their chastisement. Text 9. Evam dat tamishreyastu vanchayitva purusham daradan upayunkte yatra sariri nipatyamano yatana stobhedanaya nashtamatir nasta drishtischa pavati yatavanasphatir vischamana mulas tasmad andhata mishram tam upadishanti. The destination of a person who slyly cheats another man and enjoys his wife and children is the hell known as Andhata Mishra. There his condition is exactly like that of a tree being chopped at its roots. Even before reaching Andhata Mishra, the sinful living being is subjected to various extreme miseries. These afflictions are so severe that he loses his intelligence and sight. It is for this reason that learned sages call this hell Andhata Mishra. Text 10. Yastvihaya etad aham iti mamedam iti bhuta drohena kevalam sva kutumbam evanudinam prapushnati satad iha vihaya svayam evatad asubena rorave nipatati. A person who accepts his body as his self works very hard day and night for money to maintain his own body and the bodies of his wife and children. While working to maintain himself and his family, he may commit violence against other living entities. Such a person is forced to give up his body and his family at the time of death, when he suffers the reaction for his envy of other creatures by being thrown into the hell called Rorava. Purport. In Srimad Bhagavatam it is said, Yasyatma buddhi kunape tridatuke svadhi kala tradishu bhauma ijadi yat tirtha buddhi salile nakar hichit janesvabhi jeshu saeva gokara. One who accepts this bodily bag of three elements, bile, mucus, and air, as his self, who has an affinity for an intimate relationship with his wife and children, who considers his land worshipable, who takes bath in the waters of the holy places of pilgrimage but never takes advantage of those persons who are in actual knowledge, he is no better than an ass or a cow. Bhagavatam 10.84.13. There are two classes of men absorbed in the material concept of life. Out of ignorance, a man in the first class thinks his body to be his self, and therefore he is certainly like an animal, saeva golkara. The person in the second class, however, not only thinks his material body to be his self, but also commits all kinds of sinful activities to maintain his body. He cheats everyone to acquire money for his family and himself, and he becomes envious of others without reason. Such a person is thrown into the hell known as Rorava. If one simply considers his body to be his self, as do the animals, he is not very sinful. However, if one needlessly commits sins to maintain his body, he is put into the hell known as Rorava. This is the opinion of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Although animals are certainly in the bodily concept of life, they do not commit any sins to maintain their bodies, mate or offspring. Therefore, animals do not go to hell. However, when a human being acts enviously and cheats others to maintain his body, he is put into a hellish condition. Text 11. Ye tvihaya taiva muna vihimshita janta va paratra yama yatanam upagatam ta eva ruravo bhutva tata tam eva vihimshanti tasmad ruravam ityahu rurur iti sarpad ati krura satvasya padeshaha. In this life, an envious person commits violent acts against many living entities. Therefore, after his death, when he is taken to hell by Yamaraj, those living entities who were hurt by him appear as animals, called rurus, to inflict very severe pain upon him. Learned scholars call this hell Rorava. Not generally seen in this world, the Ruru is more envious than a snake. Purport. According to Sridhar Swami, the Ruru is also known as the Bhara-shringa, Ati Kwarasya Bhara-shringakya Satvasya Apadesha Samgya. Srila Jiva Goswami confirms this in his Sandarbha. Ruru Shabdasya Svayam Muninaivatika Vidhana Loksvaprasidha Evayam Jantu Vishesha. Thus, although Rurus are not seen in this world, their existence is confirmed in the Shastras. Text 12. Evam eva maharuravo yatra nipatitam purusham kravyada nama ruravastam kravyena gatayanti yaha kevalam deham bharaha. Punishment in the hell called Maharurava is compulsory for a person who maintains his own body by hurting others. In this hell, Ruru animals known as Kravyada torment him and eat his flesh. Purport. The animalistic person who lives simply in the bodily concept of life is not excused. He is put into the hell known as Maharurava and attacked by Ruru animals known as Kravyadas. Text 13. Yashtviha va ugra pasun pakshino va pranata uparandhayati tam apakarunam purushadhar api vigarhitam amutra Yamanuchara kumbhipake taptataile uparandhayanti. For the maintenance of their bodies and the satisfaction of their tongues, cruel persons cook poor animals and birds alive. Such persons are condemned even by man-eaters. In their next lives, they are carried by the Yamadutas to the hell known as Kumbhipaka, where they are cooked in boiling oil. Text 14. Yastviha Brahma Druksa Kala Sutra Samgyake Narake Ayuta Yojana Parimandale Tamramaye Tapta Kale Upar Yadhastad Agnyar Kabhyam Ati Tapyamane Binhi Veshita Kshut Pibhasbyam Cha Dayamanantar Bahi Sarira Aste Sate Chestate Vatistati Paridavati Chayavanti Pashu Romani Tavad Varsha Sahasrani. The killer of a Brahmana is put into the hell known as Kala Sutra, which has a circumference of 80,000 miles and which is made entirely of copper. Heated from below by fire and from above by the scorching sun, the copper surface of this planet is extremely hot. Thus the murderer of a Brahmana suffers from being burned both internally and externally. Internally he is burning with hunger and thirst, and externally he is burning from the scorching heat of the sun and the fire beneath the copper surface. Therefore he sometimes lies down, sometimes sits, sometimes stands, and sometimes runs here and there. He must suffer in this way for as many thousands of years as there are hairs on the body of an animal. And thus ends our reading for today. We will continue from text 15 on Friday. So are there any comments or anything to share from the assembled devotees before we conclude today?
It was very hard to hear about the suffering of, now granted, the sins they committed are horrendous, but to hear especially that last one,
Yeah.
it was so extreme. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, David's laughing over there.
It's very, very scary, when I read that.
You would think, if did they know this is how they would suffer? Like, why would they even? I mean, granted, it's wrong to hurt people and animals and any living being, but the suffering is so much. I can't even say it's so much worse than the crime, but it's just, you would think they would not commit the crimes.
Yeah. And these things are not the main part of Bhagavatam. Right? There's a reason Srila Prabhupada is not giving so many purports in this section. Right? We give honor to all aspects of Bhagavatam, but this is Kali Yuga, and the sinful nature of people is completely unavoidable. And what makes the teachings of the Vaishnavas so attractive, of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is the extreme level of mercy, that love, mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, knowing full well the fallen position of each and every soul who is alive on planet Earth during this time, and offering them the highest thing through the easiest process. That's the main thing, and the love for the divine whole that is developed through that process, and how that love manifests through the different relationships in Bhagavatam that we hear about, the different pastimes. That's the main thing, and how that inspires us. These hells with severe punishment, we read it and then we move on, but it's not the main thing. This is not the main point of reading Bhagavatam, so keep that in mind. Jai and Vishnupad Paramahamsa Shripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Acharya Dev, Srila Tirtha Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai.
Jai.
All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the worldwide devotees. Sama Bhaktiveda Vrinda Ki Jai.
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 Jai Navadut Dham Ki Jai, Mayapur
Jai.
Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Baladev Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Yamuna Mai Ki Jai, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Giri Govardhan Gupta Govardhan Dham Ki Jai, Sham Kund Radha Kund Ki Jai. Tosa Devi Bhakti Devi Vrinda Devi Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai, Scientific Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai. Princeton Bhakti Vedanta Institute Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi Hari 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 Hari. Srimati Uma Devi Dasi Ki Jai, Srimati Tulsi Maharani Devi Dasi Ki Jai.
Jai.
Krishna Keshavidas Brahmachari Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Gurudev.
Hare
Jai
Krishna.
Gurudev. Hare Krishna.